And welcome to the micro lecture on talking about personal selling as a channel. Um, Personal selling's been around a long time. It was my first job out of college was in sales. I think they were it's a tremendous educational opportunity if you can get yourself into getting a selling job, because you learn a lot about business. You learn about how customers act. You learn a lot of different things about, amongst other things, yourself, is your ability to persevere and be successful at the activities that you take on. So personal selling is a great thing. I can't. I think it's been. I think it's unfortunately it's starting to slide as a way to sell products, but there are certain areas where it continues to be strong and will probably always continue to be strong. So it's an essential communication vehicle. So we talk about people, and personal selling goes across the gamut. You can think about it in a retail setting. We can think about it going door to door. Uh, we can think about personal selling being client management. There's all kinds of different types of things. Um, um, Applications, let's say, of personal selling as a channel. But it's for some organizations, it's just absolutely essential. So there's still a lot of sales jobs out there, and not surprisingly, but it seems to be probably more prevalent in the B2B channels, which are, I don't think I've explained these before, but B2C is business to consumer, and B2B is business to business. So this is just a way of saying, when we're selling directly to consumer, it's called B2C. When we're selling to other companies, it's called B2B. And in the B2B arena, personal selling still seems to be a pretty major, has not really lost its proportion. In the consumer side of things, it seems to be a little bit less than it was before. So when you're designing a sales first, there's lots of things you have to consider, but how many salespeople do you need? And then you have to think about, okay, what am I actually asking them to do? So if it's cover a territory where you have a high intensity of potential customers in it, um, you might need to split that up a little more uh, in a way that you have more than one salesperson in the area. Um, these are not always geographic. They're also, sales jobs are also aligned by channels that you're selling through, or specialty markets that you're selling to. Selling to hospitals still is a pretty, in the medical industry in general, but is still a pretty sales force driven kind of thing. So that's just an example. So, and where do you deploy them is has to do with what you're asking them to do. Um, but I can recall being in business development types of things, which has a sales element to it. Uh, that we're international. I mean, you could be anywhere. So on the other hand, some sales territory. My first sales territory when I first got out of college was the city of Chicago and the southern suburbs. I mean, so that's how small it can be. So anyway, and how do I compensate them is an important consideration these days too, because we have to think about, are we paying somebody a straight commission, which is basically giving a percentage of what they actually sell. That could be based on uh, uh, gross sales, which is just literally the amount of the sale, or the amount of profit that sale generated. They get some kind of a percentage of that. But quite often, especially in the B2B world, where account management is an important part of it, um, there's usually a salary attached to a bonus, or potentially a commission as well. So yeah, there's a lot of considerations you have to put into play to decide exactly how you're going to use the sales force and what you're going to ask them to do. One thing I can say about managing salespeople is that they're going to do what you ask them to do, what you compensate them for. So if you want them to sell more, then they're going to go out and sell more. because they know that's how they can increase their compensation. If you want them to take care of accounts, they're going to spend more time with those accounts that have the best benefit to them. So, which you might be hearing me say is that it's not all good one way or another. It's not all bad one way or another, but it does create some management challenges because salespeople are going to they're very simply motivated, and that's why they're financial success. So, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. And the best of luck with the rest of this. Now, the next topic is going to be about free channels, which is a misnomer at best, but we'll talk about free promotional channels.